Previously, on Restoration, a humdrum company picnic got a whole lot more exciting when an experimental creature broke out of the artificing labs. 3 APTAP agents surprised one of the handlers and the administrant with how they handled the emergency. Sarathiel, aka the boy, Chasmere, aka the flirt, and APTAP summer intern Gwynedd Battlestar. It's now been a couple days since the picnic. Things have calmed down. We've had remedial sessions on proper lab containment.
And proper use of magic. Gwen.
That one didn't stick. Spoiler.
So it's been a couple days, and Viernan's had time to get over the fact that y'all just created a little bit of chaos there, and you noticed that you kind of did work well-ish together. Gwen, I forget, did you say that you were living on campus, or were you living...
He's living on campus. He's got the whole dorm life thing going on.
Does he? He probably has like a shitty pot-dealing roommate.
I gotta make a note of that.
But if you want, it can be like summer, so it's like his roommate's gone home, but he's like doing this like summer internship thing, so...
Well, you didn't want to go back home to your dad, because he's just overbearing, like you love him, but...
It was so nice to get away.
You're like, it's fine, I'm fine, Dad. I'm doing a summer job. I'll see you soon, bye.
He like writes me notes all the time. I've told him I'm gonna learn how to like speak to him telepathically so I can call him.
Oh, I love that.
Yep.
So it's been a couple days. You've gone back to work, and nobody's really holding you fully responsible for the mess, because you did clean it up, but, it kind of ruined the vibe of the party.
Sure did.
I would argue, and I will at length to anyone who talks to me, that the hand ruined the vibe.
And, most people would actually agree with you once you point that out again, but they're like, you could have just gone for a box. You didn't have to do magic. There were lots of boxes nearby. But anyway... There's been a reevaluation of where it's most appropriate for you to be at APTAP, and this is about the 3rd time that's happened.
They keep moving me around with new bosses.
Yeah, I just keep switching different departments, just trying to find that perfect fit. You get a note that kind of surprises you, saying that you should report early in the morning for a field test.
Interesting. I am 100% a morning person, so I'm really excited.
Oh, God.
Gwen is definitely a morning person.
All right, so let's see. That's how many characters in a row you've done that with?
Wait, is that a thing?
It's becoming a thing.
Sabre and,
Sabre was a morning person.
Yeah, it's true. Nyla wasn't a morning person, though. Nyla was aggressively not a morning person.
Oh, Nyla. But yeah, so anyway, you've gotten a note that you're to report in the morning for a field test.
Okay.
And Chaz, you also got a similar note.
Mm-hmm.
And Fiernan has also summoned the boy, because...
The boy doesn't read.
Yeah. Well, the boy can read.
He just doesn't.
He just can't read numbers, apparently.
That's not real words. Yeah, I know, because it's math.
That sounds fake.
No, too dumb for math. Pretty, but too dumb for math. Oh no, he's the... Math is hard, Barbie. All right, so you're all assembling, and Fiernan just kind of lets Sarathiel sit off to the side, and he pulls the other 2 off to the side. And you've been very busy filling out all sorts of kind of concerning paperwork. Like, you thought that you filled out a lot of paperwork when you joined APTAP, but, now you're filling out some waivers that are a little questionable.
Non-disclosure agreements. Some liability waivers.
Definitely liability waivers. The non-disclosure was part of your employment, and you definitely got some remedial lessons after they had to wipe the memories of several of those caterers.
I feel like I've eagerly signed everything. I half read it. I know I should have read it, but I was just, pretty excited to not be getting people coffee. So I just, already have the stack of paperwork, and I'm just, bouncing up and down kind of next to it. What's next? What's next?
Oh, that's so funny, because the opposite of you, Chaz reads the regulation books, always. And he's every single line, he's okay, so, Viernan, to be clear,
Section 8.
This says, section B, point 5, 3 stanzas down, it says...
Dismemberment?
I'm starting to regret signing all of these documents.
Yeah, I just want to know what I'm signing before I sign them.
Yeah, so, about that, and he checks that Sarathiel is occupied with something else, listening.
Does he have his sword?
Yes, you have your sword and your armor and all.
If he has his sword, he's doing drills, definitely.
Okay, good. He's occupied. So, something that I need both of you to know before we go out.
Mm-hmm.
Chaz, you probably already know a little bit about this, but did you see the tattoo on Sarathiel, on his neck?
I try not to look at Sarathiel too hard.
Oh, I do. I spend all day looking at him. Yes, I noticed everything about him.
Very normal.
Please.
Sorry. All right, continue. I did notice it is on his neck.
So he has that tattoo, and that is something to protect all of us. Sarathiel can be dangerous. It hasn't been an issue, but since we're going into the field, I just want everyone to be careful, and if he gets injured, please let me approach first. And I feel like this is a good time to tell the audience, Viernan is the party's healer. He is technically a wizard, but he is specifically a healing build. It's a little bit of a homebrew, and he is 100% there to make sure you don't kill innocent bystanders.
Or each other.
Or each other. That was going to be the second one, thanks Tessa. And to make sure the boy comes back in one piece. That is his primary focus. He will probably not be doing much fighting with you.
He doesn't, have damaging spells, right? That's how you built him?
Yeah, he has, maybe 1 or 2. So, be careful. So he tells you this slightly alarming and kind of vague news.
Paperwork didn't scare me, but this does.
Chaz is
I'm just, looking back at him. What happens if we do?
Wouldn't recommend it. I don't think anything will happen, but just let me see how bad the damage is if anything happens. Okay?
Understood.
I don't know if I'm cut out for this mission, maybe. This feels above my pay grade. I'm just a student. You know that, right? I just summon webs.
No,
That's
I
my
know.
thing.
This is not going to be anything difficult. We've been asked to just go over to the Vault of the Sages and check out something that's been plaguing the library.
Okay, now I really want to go. You see his eyes get big, and he's the Vault of the Sages. I don't know what that is. What is that?
So some history, for those of you who don't know Silvery Moon. The conclave of Silvery Moon is basically a giant university, and there's multiple colleges, and one of the buildings associated with it is the Vault of the Sages. Now, the Vault of the Sages is known as the Gem of the North because it is the biggest repository of knowledge in the north of Faerun. This is rivaled only by Candlekeep. To say that we're going to the Vault of the Sages to a nerd like Gwen, this is oh my god, dream come true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think he's forgotten everything that you had to say about danger, and he's now just big starry eyes, and he's do you think, are we gonna be able to go inside? Okay, just maybe I could take a look at some of the books, right? Just maybe 1 or 5 or, 20. That's okay, right?
If you do well on this mission, we'll probably be able to get you a pass, okay?
I just big hearts appear where his eyes should be. He turns to Chaz and he's did you hear that?
I did! How exciting!
Oh my god!
All those books and you in the same place? Oh, to die for.
I go and sit down. I just have to
put your head between your knees.
It's overwhelmed me.
And Chaz, after you sit down, turns back to Viernan. So, how dangerous are we talking exactly?
I don't think it's too bad. I mean, they mentioned there was a portal that had appeared in the courtyard, and they've just been having some issues with some monsters in their history section. But, they're librarians. They're not used to getting rid of this kind of thing. It's not exactly moths like they would usually deal with, or maybe mice.
Interesting. That should be. And what exactly are we looking for there? They said there's something something we're supposed to look into?
We're not exactly sure yet. We were supposed to meet with Ileana Windborn, the head librarian, and she was going to tell us some more.
All right.
Okay.
No more questions. He signs the paper. He's like, let's go.
Paperwork is all signed, sealed, and turned in.
I feel like Sarathiel does not have... he cannot sign for himself. Viernan has to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Viernan's already taken care of it.
He's like, give me your hand. I need your thumbprint. Okay, we're done.
But yeah, now that you're done talking about him behind his back, he comes over. He didn't activate his sword.
Good, because we were inside.
Viernan has trained him, don't activate the sword when we're inside. Make big flame, burn things down.
Preferably don't do it when we're at the Vault of the Sages either.
Lots of flammable.
I cannot promise that.
Yeah, he can't promise that. Also, he'll probably forget.
Oh, librarians might kill you.
It's fine.
I'll kill you.
Good luck with that, Gwen.
Well, I'll try.
He comes over, he sheathes his sword. He has a over his back for his big two-handed sword. And he says, all right, where are we going?
We're headed over to the Vault of the Sages.
Great, let's go.
It's a library. Lots of reading and books.
Does not sound the least bit interested in that.
Gwen loves books.
I do love books. I look up from my mini panic attack I've been having about thinking about all the books.
Great, let's head out.
The walk over to the Vault of the Sages is no big deal. Both APTAP and the vault are on the south bank of Silvery Moon, and it's, a few blocks away, so you don't have to take a carriage or whatever.
Sarathiel, he gets stared at, but he's also gotten so used to being stared at that he really does not notice anymore. It's worse when he's outside of APTAP, I think.
I think this is one of the first times you've actually been outside of APTAP.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And not surrounded by 20 APTAP folks.
Yeah. So yeah, he is definitely looking at the city. He's very interested. And he remarks, I've never actually seen Silvery Moon.
A question, how sunny is it out today? Now that I have to keep track of this shit.
I'm not going to send you into anything that's actively dangerous without telling you.
Okay, so Chaz, before when it was very sunny and you were on a picnic, he had the giant floppy hat. Now he's got his trusty fedora and he's got these rose-colored glasses on. He's like, all right, let's have a go. And you've never been? You've never been. Really?
No.
It's right outside. You never go outside?
Oh, no, he's not allowed outside.
I'm not allowed outside, no.
Not for a beer? They have really good beer. Have you been to this tavern?
Never drank anything.
Oh, Viernan's oh god.
Well, I've drank alcoholic. I've had water, but...
Oh, that's good that you've had water, because that's very important.
So they tell me, yes.
Yeah, Chaz is just kind of Gwen, are you old enough to drink?
Yeah, I'm definitely not old enough to drink. I look at you in a panic, and I'm like, I haven't had alcohol at the tavern. I just go with some friends, and I get a Shirley Temple, and it's fine. That's definitely what we do.
You're terrible at lying. This is adorable.
I'm not lying.
It's fine.
I'm not lying. I look at Vernon, and I look at you, and I make the cross your neck thing where it's shut the fuck up.
It's fine. All right. If you're going to be like that about it.
The teacher's here.
Vernon isn't gonna, mind.
I know, but I don't know that.
So tell us more about this tavern.
They have the best bards.
So I was going to say the architecture is just simply stunning in this city. It is the pride and joy of the elves in the north. Most elves don't live in cities. They tend to live in the forests, in smaller clans. Silvery Moon is a very unique place. The Vault of the Sages, when you come up to it, is in this kind of a horseshoe kind of shape. It's got a courtyard in the middle with an entrance in the center. And I'm curious if you, Chaz, have ever been there. Because I feel like it's something that you would have gone to just in part of your research, looking for different spells and things like that.
Probably, but his interest is not so much books like Gwen. He's more a hands-on kind of guy. Also, he's an engineer. So he's like, oh, I was looking for a particular book on a particular, formula. Ah, there it is. All right. He opens it, he reads it, he memorized it. He's like, okay, I'm done. Goodbye. Thank you.
God, bane of librarian's existence.
I just needed that one page. Don't worry. I remember what page it was.
Well, you know what? Actually, no, that's actually good that you'd be increasing their circulation numbers. So, you're actually probably on their good side. 20 books for one sentence in each. Yeah. As long as you don't shelve them yourselves.
Oh, no. Right. Even though, he knows exactly where they go, he's like, here you go, hands it back to the librarian.
So this is actually one of the taller buildings in the area. There are 5 stories that are visible, and there are multiple stories below the ground. Typically, the public will only be allowed into the first 2 or 3 levels, and above that is all offices and private spaces. And down below is where the vaults are and all of the more dangerous or important books are kept. So you did notice, Chaz, because you're used to looking for it, you notice a little bit of residual portal energy. A different group had already come and closed the portal, but it seems like they missed something that slipped through it.
Ah.
Yeah. So you go...
Have you talked at all about portals? Like,
We have not.
Or you could wait until we find the thing.
Well, I just closed the portal, so I think I should talk about what they are. So, some of you who are longtime followers have listened to a little thing we called Fracture.
I've never heard of it.
The first season of our podcast, in which a giant rift had appeared in the middle of Faerun and was causing all sorts of issues. A goddess went mad, staring between the veil,
It's like a dumb, terrible story. I've never listened to that.
Yeah, it's almost like Tessa wrote it herself or something.
No big deal. But the thing is about this fracture that had appeared, it caused a lot of problems with time-space. And as a result, the Administration for Temporal Planar Analysis and Protection, APTAP, decided to try to help close these portals. A lot of them were concentrated in Silvery Moon and had actually affected the mythals around the city, which were protective barriers that usually would prevent such portals from appearing. And that's why they actually selected Silvery Moon as their headquarters, because such a strange concentration of portals was appearing where they shouldn't be able to. These portals could be into time, so it could, future, past. They could be into different planes, so we've dealt with all sorts of monsters and things. And a lot of the research that APTAP artificers and scientists do is to actually fix or adapt the technology that kind of links through those cracks. So Chaz and Viernan actually both have a device. Yes, they have a bracer, which is called a portal manipulator, which is a bracer that's been developed by the APTAP artificers to actually manipulate these portals and to usually close them. So another team has already come over and taken care of the portal that was here, but your manipulator does bleep a little bit because there's a little bit of energy still around.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely makes Chaz, glance over at Viren and hear that.
I told you, they mentioned that there was a portal in the courtyard and that they think something got through. Viernan heads in through the front doors and mentions to one of the aides that they had a meeting with the head librarian, and aide scuttles off to go get her.
Sarathiel's just kind of looking around, vibing. Sarathiel would never voluntarily spend time in a library, but this is vibes,
So 5 extremely tall stories of this, just...
Oh, dude.
Books everywhere, important scrolls and paintings, astronomical and planar models, all sorts of interesting doodads all over the place. There's also several examination rooms for colleges to use, and particularly for the library's use.
I miss college sometimes.
Because the library employs a lot of cartographers and copyists, because writing utensils are not allowed in this library. It is very strictly controlled. If you want a copy of anything, you need to ask for a copyist to do it. They will do it for a charge.
So basically, Gwen is now just every 5 seconds you have to stop, be like, Gwen, come on, buddy, you can't be there. Because I'm just every time I see something new, I'm just yes, and I go to touch it.
Oh no, don't touch, no, come back.
Okay, you said you can't touch that, but what about this? And he touches something else.
So the head librarian walks over with the aide and sends him scuttling off to do something else again. You must be the team from APTAP.
We must be.
Yes, we are. Are you, Miss Winborn? Yes. Here, let's, go somewhere that's a little bit more private, and I'll bring you up to speed on what's going on. And she leads you into one of the examination rooms and closes the door.
What was her name again? Sorry.
Ileana Windborn.
I have an NPC list, and I get to write shit down. That's cute. I love this notebook.
So I do appreciate all of you coming over so quickly. We already had that team out here a day or two ago to close the portal once we noticed it, but I think that something has gotten into our history section. We found lots of our extremely valuable texts shredded, and we have not been able to find any sign of the creatures. We suspect there's more than one. It's just so much damage. And the monitor team that your organization sent over said that they thought that it might be related, that this is something that came through that portal. I think they said they wanted you to bring them back alive? Is that right? And she turns to Viernan to confirm, and he just kind of nods.
The creatures? They want us to bring the creatures back alive?
Yes, creatures.
Okay. Tall order.
Chaz is like, of course! We don't just go around randomly killing creatures just because they shred books.
No, of course.
I just look very severely at you.
Oh, I mean, yes! And Gwen is like, I do! And Chaz is like, oh, you do?
It's priceless history. You can't just let things destroy priceless history, Chaz.
Oh, Ileana likes this.
Yeah, and Chaz is like, that's true, but you also can't just kill everything randomly all the time, like random violence. Is that what you want, Gwen?
No, not randomly, Chaz. Things that destroy books only. Get with the program.
Sarathiel asks, does it eat the books? Or...
It doesn't seem to be eating them. It's just kind of shredding them up and, it's, I don't know, nesting?
Gross.
I'm looking on in, increasing horror. We're gonna solve this problem for you, I promise. And I, reach out and take her hands in mine, and I look very seriously and deeply in her eyes, and I'm like, you have my word.
Chaz is like, anyway, we need to investigate the crime scene.
Does anybody have any other questions?
How big are the nests? Are we talking cute little bird nests, or...?
So the nests are not particularly big, but they seem to be just creating multiples all over the history section, and we really need to get back in there and do some cataloging. There's some valuable new texts that we just got in.
Gross. Not the texts, the nests, but...
I feel like Sarathiel meant both, but he's like, oh.
Also, I guess reading is gross, so...
Do we know how, big they are?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen them. That's the problem. They're mostly active at night, and we don't typically have people here. I mean, there's some people, obviously. We can't just leave it unprotected, but the guard haven't found anything.
Small, nocturnal, nesting. Are we sure it's not just a bunch of pigeons?
What?
Oh, Sarathiel.
No, Sarathiel, that's not a thing.
Oh dear. Do you think that birds are nocturnal?
They're not nocturnal.
Are they not?
Some birds are.
Some birds are.
No, not pigeons. Okay, interesting. All right. Anyway,
Were you thinking of owls?
What's an owl?
it's fine. Chaz is like, all right, let's go. He's a very hands-on guy, so he's like, all right, stop asking questions. Let's go look.
Wait, no, how are we gonna trap them, though, alive? This is like someone being like, I have an ant problem, but I would like you to bring them to me alive. Like, how?
That's why Chaz wants to look around. He's like, please let me look at evidence, please, I beg of you.
Okay, well, I'm just saying I do have this spell that makes a giant web, so just keep it in mind.
Nope, not in the library.
Now, please do remember, all of these texts are extraordinarily valuable. In some cases, they're the only copies in the entire continent. We need to make sure that these are kept safe, so I have to ask you not to use destructive magics down there.
I've got a sword and it catches on fire. That's my only move.
Please don't use that!
I'm looking at we should go before we panic this poor librarian any further. Nothing we're gonna say is going to make her feel better. I think I
No.
grab Sarathiel and Chaz and I'm just like, well, it was great talking to you. Bye, see you later.
No. You cannot actually go anywhere because you need a guide to go down into the bottom of the library. Nobody is allowed into the lower section of the library unescorted.
Lame. Uncool.
Let's go then.
She's gonna lead you down there. You came over, you met early in the morning to get training, answer all your paperwork, and, get all that filled out, and that took quite a while. So you're there over around, 1 o'clock-ish. So that's why the sun wasn't as much of an issue. The librarian assigns one of her aides to escort you down into the lower levels of the vault. This is, like I say, nobody is ever allowed to go down here, so it's kind of surprising. Usually you have to be, part of the elite of the city, you have to be, one of the chancellors or somebody super important to be allowed access down here, so this is a very special situation.
Goes right over Sarathiel's pretty little head.
Mm-hmm.
No appreciation.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you're led down a series of spiral staircases down probably about 2, maybe 3 levels. I feel like one of you is probably tracking, but the rest of you are a little bit distracted, mostly Gwen.
Yep. I'm just staring at all the books, being like, I wonder what's...
I feel like Viernan has positioned Chaz behind you to act as like the end of the line so that he's herding you further in.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I definitely think I'm like stopping and staring every couple minutes and just being like, oh my god, do you see that?
Oh, be careful or he's gonna tie a rope around your waist so that you don't wander off.
Like a baby leash.
So you're led down into the history section. You can see right away there's evidence of a lot of clutter. Like, people have taken away some of the damaged books and been trying to repair them up in the upper offices, but you can just see kind of a chaotic mess.
Sarathiel starts checking for pigeons.
Oh dear God.
What do you want to look for?
A roll for pigeon investigation. There are no pigeons. Next.
There is no pigeon poop.
He would not search for pigeon poop. That would be something a smart person would do. He starts looking up around looking for birds.
I think I start looking in books, but then I get distracted and I start reading the books.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. So we need Chaz wants like an investigation. Like he's got the info. Well, first of all, he needs to know what kind of creature. So like, I guess investigating a nest if we can find one.
I'll give you either investigation or nature in this case.
Excellent, because my nature is not great. So I'm going to do investigation.
Both of those are based in int, so Sarathiel will keep looking for pigeons.
I'll do a investigation check too, if you don't mind, just because like I am looking.
Yeah, you're not looking well, but you are looking. Oh boy.
Neither of us did well.
Oh, good.
God, we're rolling so bad.
Well, I mean, you see that there's nests, but you haven't quite figured out, what might cause those.
Mm-hmm.
How high are the nests? Are they like in the shelves, on the floor?
They're on the floor, which is actually a great question. Things are lower.
So not pigeons, but Sarathiel's going to keep looking for pigeons.
So it looks like something has maybe been climbing some of the shelves, maybe knocking things down, and then is nesting lower down. The nests tend to be like in secluded corners rather than like right in the middle of the hallway.
Any eggs or anything in the nests?
No.
If there's like evidence, like you mean, of like climbing, like claw marks, you mean, or
It's mostly that there's been books knocked down from taller shelves.
but the nests are on the ground. Okay, but still, I think Chaz wants to investigate that too and see if he can send Lotus up to go check if she can fly.
Okay.
Darling, I know you're sleeping. He taps his hat and she's like, makes this little whirring sound and he's like, I know you're so sleepy and so adorable, but could you go up? Yes, good girl. Up, up.
I love her.
He like sends her to go, all right, I'm not going to climb on things because I've been told that these are priceless artifacts and all that. When she flies up, would she see anything other than book?
Make a perception?
I can touch her and then she'll share images.
I
That's
feel
fine.
like image sharing is okay for a familiar that you've built yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I built her, right.
I think speech is a little much.
Yeah, obviously she can't talk. Good job. We're just doing great tonight, y'all. She's like, I got an image of a lot of books, and they're all tipped over or upside down. So not helpful. You did a good job, though. Go back to sleep, good girl.
I feel like Viernan is going to help out, too, because this is not going great. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh boy.
At this point, I should probably just make Sarathiel roll perception. Just to see.
I can summon a familiar.
No, we talked about this.
Please don't.
Actually, no, it takes an hour.
Yeah, also we don't have that time, and also, remember, no big magic.
What if instead I summoned a cloud of daggers?
Oh, no, that would...
No.
I hadn't thought through what we'd do with them.
Clearly.
But I'm just saying,
Gwen, that would shred all of these books, and I thought you loved books. Shame on you.
Well, I do love books, don't say that.
So the aide pipes up since y'all are searching and not finding anything. So, we noticed it around the same time as that portal, but, we also did get a new shipment of books in. Maybe the pest was already in there? Is that possible? I don't know.
Oh dear. Anything is possible.
That's a very smart thing. Very smart thing to say. Not the thing that Sarathiel said.
How dare you slander him like this?
Chaz, I'd like you to let's make an Arcana check.
Okay, I was like, do you want me to use my portal thingy?
I think you're gonna like look for a little bit of portal energy and see if you can find anything.
That sounds good. Hey, better finally.
You find a little bit of energy, and it is specifically It seems like the portal that was closed was to the ethereal plane. It's possible that something came through there and that maybe it has some kind of shape-shifting abilities. Maybe that's why nobody's found it yet.
Or invisibility. The ethereal plane is where you go when you cast invisibility, so it might be invisibility-based.
Mm-hmm. Also possible.
Chaz is like, oh, okay. After that, after he uses his little device, he's like, oh, that explains a lot, actually.
Did nobody in this party take Detect Magic seriously?
Yeah, I did not.
Oh my goodness. Oh no!
That spell, that didn't seem like a cool spell, so I didn't take it.
Oh god. Baku, I miss you, come back!
I'm just, okay.
I can't cast spells. What do you want me to do?
So, Chaz will explain, he's like, alright, so, based on my handy-dandy device, he taps it, I've determined that whatever it is we're looking for is from the ethereal plane. That's the good news, that we know where it's from. The bad news is that we don't know what we're looking for, because it can probably shapeshift or become invisible.
Hey, Val, could I roll Arcana to know what I know about the ethereal plane?
Sure, go for it.
I figure that's like a thing that I've studied.
Right, as soon as he's like, ethereal plane, you're like, oh, I studied that!
I mean, this could end very poorly, so it's very possible that's not going to happen. No, I did.
Oh, that's funny.
I've gotten very used to the whole... There we go. Oh, God. Yep, no.
I love this. He's like, I read about this! I don't remember shit about it, though. I believe you. You probably did. I feel like you're just overwhelmed. You're like, I'm going outside, and this is so cool, and oh no.
Okay. Well, the aid suggests that it seems to do more at night. So maybe we could get you set up with some cots or something down here.
Sleepover!
And have you spend the night and maybe check it out?
Sleep.
Sounds brilliant.
What's the worst that could possibly happen?
We should really hire this aide, because he's doing a better job than the rest of us are.
Chaz is like, looking at Ileana is like, you should give that guy a raise. Seriously.
So they get you set up with some cots and whatever, and you probably go to a local tavern for a dinner beforehand and then come back.
I do not drink beer.
Do you have a Shirley Temple, though?
I do.
Chaz is like, oh, what a shame. This beer is so good. If only someone could try some.
Looking longingly at it, but then I'm like, no, I don't even know. I've heard it tastes terrible, so.
Oh, really?
You were saying it was great.
The Shirley Temple is great. That's what I was saying.
Sarathiel tries to drink, and he'll be interested to know if Viernan lets him. I'll be interested to know if Viernan lets him.
I think Viernan doesn't let you have your own, but he'll let you try some.
It's a very interesting experience. Never tasted alcohol before. And he is an elf, so he probably has a pretty good tolerance, unfortunately. So a sip won't do much, which is unfortunate. I do want to see drunk Sarathiel.
You will? Not tonight.
Chaz is like, so, how do you feel?
What's it taste like?
Tastes like alcohol.
The first time I had alcohol, I'd never.
Right, but what do you imagine it would taste like, Gwen?
Like I said, like he like takes he had just taken a sip and he like sniffs the cup and he's like, I'm getting a hint of grape.
That's what wine is made from.
You're like, good job.
Amazing.
So you guys have some alcohol interesting times, but you don't drink too much because Vin makes sure you don't, because he wants you all alert tonight. What do you do? How do you divvy it up? Do you have like one person keeping watch? Are you all wandering around the library, just kind of waiting?
I think so. I will so Sarathiel is stupid. Like I will maintain that he is stupid, but he also, because he is so stupid, he has been trained to listen very closely to what the people around him are saying. So he's thinking about like the guys. It mostly comes out at night, and all of the nests are in like really isolated areas. So I think while everyone is getting set up, he just goes over to the nest and crouches down, and instead of trying to search, like he listens. Like, he listens really hard to see if he can hear anything, which I think is still a perception check.
Yeah, that would still be perception, just because of the way D&D does.
Hey!
Holy crap!
Damn!
Oh, shit.
Sarathiel, roll a 21!
Competence from unusual places.
Sarathiel's the only one rolling well tonight. The rest of us is like...
Well, let's see. What can you get from a hearing test that went that well? So there's nothing in this particular nest, but you do hear something scurrying along the top of one of the shelves.
Scurrying. We're talking like small animal?
Mm-hmm.
His instinct is like, okay, reach for the longsword. But then, like, no, they said I shouldn't. So he's gonna treat it like a cat. He's just gonna be like, hey, buddy, come here. Hey, little guy.
Oh, God. Viernon's sense goes, oh no.
He's gonna try to Disney princess this shit.
I feel like we hear that and we're like, what are we doing?
What you listening? Yeah, what do you hear there, Sarathiel, huh?
He doesn't answer. He's trying to coax the cat. He's gone from birds to cats. It's cats now. He's trying to coax the cat down from the top of the shelf.
Oh, God, okay.
Did you find a pigeon? Oh no, okay, you think it's a cat now. All right.
Gwen, important question. Do you have a book in your hand?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Excellent. Gwen, the book in your hand, you seem to get a sense from it, and this sounds absolutely batshit crazy, but you could swear this book is talking to you in your head.
Oh my God, it's a mimic. This whole thing, the whole library is a mimic. Oh my God, we're all gonna die.
I just, stare at it, and then because this is just exactly who he is, he's like, this is cool, and I, listen to it. I want to hear what it has to say. I'm very curious.
Hungry.
Oh, wait, that's not good. Are you hungry, little buddy?
Oh no, now you're both doing it!
Viernon's danger sense. Oh no. Before you can do anything else, Gwen, the book changes into something rather alarming. It is not a mimic. It does not bite your hand off.
Good start.
But it does turn into a 3-foot diameter sphere of luminous ectoplasm.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah. And when it does this, the weasel that had been up on top of the bookshelf jumps down and attacks Sarathiel.
It's never failed me.
Sarathiel, make a dex save.
That's my save. 8, not great.
Oh no!
Roll initiative. Where's the stat block for a weasel?
I really like the idea that you're chasing a weasel. That's great.
Of course, a 20 on initiative and an 8 on the dex save.
Yep.
Which, by the way, y'all, I didn't realize, but I can actually get a familiar, and next time we play this game, I'm gonna have one.
Oh dear. Yeah, so you definitely have a face full of weasel.
That's what she said.
So you've got a squirrel in your hair. Or weasel, in this case.
Okay, cool.
Chaz is like, look at you making friends, although maybe not on the face.
We're gonna destroy this entire room.
Oh no!
I don't want us to, but that doesn't mean we're not going to.
So the weasel got a surprise round in on you.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's going to bite
It's
you.
gonna do 1d2 weasel damage.
Don't underestimate weasel damage, Tessa!
Seriously.
So does the 16 hit you?
Yes, barely.
Take 1 point of damage.
Oh no! He's unconscious.
Weasel damage!
So it is now your turn.
I'm gonna do an animal handling check on the weasel. He tries his very best to stay calm because he's good at following directions and they told him not to kill it. And he's convinced that the weasel is responsible for all this destruction, even though that logically makes no sense.
Right? There's an orb right there, but he's like, nah.
No, it's definitely the weasel. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. Orbs can't nest. What are you talking
Don't
about?
be stupid. Orbs don't tear up books. That's a 19 on an animal handling check for this weasel.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I want a weasel companion. You've done this to yourself.
Right. Just like when Ariazi's got Stormy, like, yay! Oops.
Y'all, I can have a weasel companion.
Bitch, I'm gonna have a weasel companion. Right now, I'm gonna have a weasel companion.
Okay, I will deal with that in a minute. Arcana folks, make me an Arcana check to see if you figured out what this is.
I assume you mean not me.
Yeah, probably not you. You're distracted by trying to rustle a weasel.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's not a 2.
His next turn, he's gonna confidently turn around. He's like, I got it, guys. I've solved the problem. Why is there a weasel in the library?
Okay, Chaz, you figure out, based on, the fact that it changed from an object into this orb, and that it was hungry, and it comes from the ethereal plane, you think this is a Gingwatsum.
Oh, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
But I didn't hear it say it was hungry, just that it was talking, and I'm like, also, what the fuck?
So I found the Gingwatsum from the Candlekeep Mysteries book, and it was delightful. You know that these are a form of life that's created by a spell or a ritual.
Oh, nice.
It draws energy from the ethereal plane to give it its true form, which is this orb, the glowing, creepy, oozy thing. It can also assume two other forms that are predetermined by its creator. One is a non-magical object, and the other is a specific tiny beast. So it has a true form and it has two alternate forms. So it could be a non-magical object or a creature.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like, he's just gonna share with the class. Gingwatsum. Okay, that actually makes sense.
Oh, for being in a library, yeah, it probably came in as one of those books.
Exactly, non-magical item. Yeah, the books, it can disguise itself as a book. Great, how are we going to know how many more of them there are?
I mean, I guess try the portal manipulator, maybe? It can give us an idea of how much energy there is around. I'll try that.
True. I was like, any one of these books could be the thing, great. And also the weasel. So we've got two forms, non-magical, probably a book, and a weasel.
Uh-huh, probably,
Why?
Yeah.
Also, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, that too, yes.
Oh, there's also one in front of us that's gonna attack us.
That's its true form. Good job. Great listening, Gwen. I'm so proud of you.
Okay.
Viernan is going to be busy with trying to figure out how many others there are in the library, so he'll take care of that for you.
Okay.
Yep. So go ahead and take your turn, Chaz.
Weasel is thoroughly handled, so I will leave that one alone. Good job. Congrats on your new pet, I guess.
Yes. I mean, you're still assuming it's a weasel. A weasel is a tiny beast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it feels like that might be one of the things.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, he's got it handled, whatever, because he did the animal handling thing. I'm gonna focus on the shiny orb thing.
Okie dokie, what you gonna do with the shiny orb thing?
I really wish I had detect magic right now.
Right? That seems like a major oversight that I might let you guys fix before the next episode.
Okay, so based on what I know, it's created by a spell or a ritual. Interesting. Is there a way that I could, Arcana check to see if I can trace that?
Sure. I'll give you that. Oh, and by the way, your aid is, hiding. Librarian, not used to combat.
Right, of course. Well, don't worry, we'll make sure you get double raise after this, and good luck.
You know that this takes a lot of magic to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's very specialized magic. It's likely that this came in with the shipment of other books that they mentioned that they were cataloging. They had a lot of new books that had come in. So this was probably put into that shipment by somebody.
Yeah, there's no way I can track who that somebody is, huh?
No, sorry.
Damn it.
Not without detect magic.
I know, goddamn. That's why I was trying to work around. I was like, you know what, Chaz, make a rock that can detect magic next time, okay? Well, that doesn't help me. Shit, what else can I do? I'm going to gently embrace the orb. No, I'm just kidding. Did Gwen tell us about the hungry part?
I don't know, Gwen, did you tell them about the hungry part, or did you just kind of go, oh god?
No. I asked if it was, needed something to eat.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so you guys did hear that.
You didn't hear me say it was hungry, but you did hear me be like, do you want something to eat, little buddy?
I told you guys I would give you points for creative solutions, not just being murder hobos.
Alive. Bring it alive. He's like, okay, so don't attack it. Got it.
Alright, they did say alive, they did not say unharmed.
Right, I know. Yeah, I guess the whip is small enough damage. That's fine. Otherwise, I have a crossbow, but...
Librarians might look at you if you get bolts in the books, just saying.
Yay!
Man. It's been a minute, y'all.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's see, what's it? Nope, does not hit.
Okay, cool.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of insubstantial.
Right, it is. I'm like, well, good news. It is very slippery. As you might imagine, it is ectoplasm.
Gwen, it's your turn.
No big magic, Gwen. Remember.
Oh, no. I just pretend I didn't hear you.
Great. This is already going great.
What's around it? Like, it's just, like, between, like, rows of books, right?
So you are in the middle of a bunch of bookshelves, because down here it's pretty much a maze. Like, if you didn't have a guide, you would be totally lost. It's just, like, mazes and mazes and mazes of bookshelves and, like, little nooks and things.
How sturdy are the bookshelves?
They look fairly sturdy, Gwen.
You said not to kill it.
I mean, yeah, but I see where you're going, and you can try.
I feel like I need to ask Sarathiel to do this for me, but...
Probably. I don't think you're strong enough.
He's good at following directions, I'm just saying. Point him at a thing you want to push over or whatever, he'll do it.
He's got one hand full of weasel, the other hand he just pushes over, the entire library collapses.
You know what I'm gonna do? Because I feel like this is how it would play out. I'm gonna try it, and when I fail, I'm gonna be like, fuck, please do this for me, Sarathiel. I have an idea! I'm gonna trap it! And I push really hard at one of the bookshelves.
God. We're gonna destroy this library.
What do I roll for this embarrassing thing?
I would assume that this is gonna be athletics?
Excellent. I have a -1. I seriously think this is gonna work, so as I, like, go to push the bookshelf over, I go, I'm sorry.
And he rolls an 8.
A book falls and hits you in the head. Take 2 damage.
Ow! I look over at Sarathiel, and I go, Sarathiel, help me with this!
He's got a weasel on his face, which he is in the process of taming, presumably.
Yeah, you managed to calm the weasel down and, like, get it off your face, but you're not quite sure what's gonna happen next.
And he receives an order to knock over a bookshelf. Are there any objections to that?
I mean, Viernan doesn't like the idea.
Viernan and Chaz are like, no!
He follows directions. If you tell him to do something, he's gonna do it. It seems like a bad idea, but Sarathiel doesn't know that. He's an idiot.
I'm gonna say that there's not really time for Viernan to object. Let's go with that.
Okay. Am I next up in the order?
No, Viernan is, actually.
Please tell him not to do this.
Yeah, no, that's...
No, please don't.
He was rolling stuff, right? He was doing the manipulator thingy.
Yeah, I mean, Viernan is distracted. He was trying to find out how many there were. He thinks there's only the 2, so that's good news. Presumably the weasel is also one of these things. No, don't do that. Just, try to contain that one, and we'll figure out the other one.
I've been waiting for my turn.
How are you gonna contain it? Nobody's come up with a better idea.
Shove it in a bag!
There are crates of books, right? Presumably, we can just turn one upside down and...
Yeah, I mean, there's crates. You know, we could trap it in a crate.
No one told me there were I asked what was around.
Okay, so they're not, like, directly near you. You have to go back, like, 3 or 4 places, but there was a shipment of books. You know, so there's gonna be boxes around, probably. Sorry, that was an oversight.
I feel like I was misled.
Apologies for the oversight. So it's actually the weasel's turn. The weasel is just really fucking confused right now, so it's just kind of staring at you, Sarathiel, like, it wants to bite you again, but, like, you calmed it down, but it is hungry, and it wants to bite you again.
Easy, kitty. Easy, kitty. He still thinks it's a cat.
Make another animal handling check.
Another one?
It wants to bite you again. It's doing that thing that my cat does where it, like, starts to open its mouth toward your hand.
Okay.
It's not, like, struggling to get away, but it is definitely like, I'm still hungry, and so it does bite you.
Nice kitty! Nice kitty! It doesn't hit.
This one, like, skates off of the protection you got on your hands. You got, like, a leather wrap or something.
He's got gloves. Stop it! Bad kitty! Bad kitty!
So it is the orb's turn, and the orb is going to try energy drain. Who is probably closest to it? Probably Gwen is closest to it, unfortunately, because it was in your hand.
Oh no.
And you barely moved away. So it's going to...
11. What's your AC?
My AC is a motherfucker, it's a 12!
I guess that's a glancing blow then, according to our house rules. So that is 8 damage, necrotic damage. And make a Constitution saving throw.
Owie.
Oh god.
Sorry.
Well, that's really bad. I don't have a lot of hit points, y'all.
Oh. Gwen, you take 1 point of exhaustion?
No, don't make me do that.
A level. Yes, a level of exhaustion. Oh boy.
What does that do? I can't remember. It's been so long.
I think it's the first level of exhaustion, I think, is disadvantage on any skill check.
Oh dear.
Luckily it does not have multi-attack, so it only does that, and now it's Sarathiel's turn.
So he was told to push over a bookcase, and then he was told to not push over a bookcase. There's a weasel who's trying to bite him.
And you were told to contain the weasel.
I was told to contain the weasel. Sarathiel is dumb, and the only thing that occurs to him is the only books that he's ever read when he was like a really young child. He's gonna try to Pied Piper this shit. He has a flute. This is canon. I've talked about this with Val. He has a flute, and he knows how to play it.
Oh, God. You know, we also talked about that house rule that, like, he doesn't normally get to keep it, because normally Sarathiel doesn't have objects that he can hold onto as his.
It's one of 2 things that he owns that he's allowed to keep forever. His sword and his flute.
Yeah.
So he's gonna try to play it. That's a performance roll, I suppose.
Go ahead, I guess. You know, you could have shoved it into a bag or something.
And he's got a pretty good modifier for his charisma is really good, is the thing.
Chaz is like, no, what, really? A flute? Okay.
Natural 20!
Jesus Christ! What the fuck? Our first nat 20 of the night, and it's on fucking Pied Piper bullshit.
My God.
Of course.
All right, I don't.
Now you have a whole army of weasels. I love it.
I'm not giving you a pet, King Watson. I'm just not.
No, I don't. Now that, like, he wants a cat, which is it's a weasel, but he thinks it's a cat. What he wants is a cat. He doesn't want a weird glowing orb as a pet. Mostly, when I say Pied Piper, I mean, like, he's just gonna entrance them with the song and, like, lure them back so someone can knock a crate over on top of them or some shit.
Yeah, okay. Chaz, you're up.
Right. He's like, that's just...
He has them under his spell. Turn a crate over on top of them or something.
Right, exactly. He's like, all right, well, clearly that went a lot better than I expected. So, yeah, he's gonna be like, okay, upturns, like, empties the books, like, sorry about roughly treating the books, and then just tries to put it over the entranced weasel.
I mean, you succeed, because it's a fucking weasel. It's tiny.
Great, so I do that, and... back to Gwen. I'm like, buddy, how you doing? Are you in pain?
Not good.
Not good. Great. All right. I hear ya. All right.
I'll handle that in a minute. The healer calls out.
Right. Exactly. I was like, yeah, Viernan will get you. Don't worry. He's good with the healing hands. And I actually mean that literally and not sexually this time. All right.
You can hear his eyes rolling from across the room. Gwen, it's to you.
I do not like being attacked by slimy things. I am very hurt, and now I'm tired, and I'm going to get out of here. So I am, like, retreating.
He's got it in a trance. Put a book on it. Turn a crate over it. God damn. He did your Pied Piper shit for you. Put something on top of it.
No, I don't want to get close to it.
On top of the orb? It's 3 feet wide, right?
Oh, no. Yeah, but I have to go get, like, a crate. Where's the nearest crate?
Okay, you find a crate, like, nearby.
Excellent. I cast Mage Hand to move the crate over it.
Even though you could just lift the box.
I will not.
Remember, he's a wizard.
So I will be using Mage Hand to move the crate and toss it over the thing.
Fine. So I guess that's going to be a dexterity thing to get away from it?
Is it? Wait, why is it a dex thing to get away from it?
It's a dex save to avoid it. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's making a dex save to get away. The orb is trying to get away from you.
Although he is entranced now with his Pied Piper shit, so maybe give him disadvantage.
Oh man, it had a nat 20. Oh well.
Thank God he Pied Piper that shit, huh, you ungrateful bastards.
I will not be thanking you.
Normally I would say that wouldn't affect both of them, but it confused the hell out of this one. Distracted it long enough for you to get this. Okay, so you've got a crate over it, and the other one is also in a crate. Viernan is going to come over and heal you.
Sarathiel sticks his flute back into his belt and says this could have been much easier if I had used my sword. And he, like, sits on top of the crate so it can't go anywhere.
I will not be sitting on top of any crates. I am sitting very far away from them. I did not realize how pointy things were.
We should charge them extra for not killing these little bastards.
We're not charging them at all.
That cat was mean. It scratched me. Do you see it scratched me?
It's not a cat. It's not a cat. Do you know what cats look like?
He points to his cheekbone, like Gwen, who has taken like eight necrotic damage, and he points. His 1d1 scrape on his cheekbone, which only makes him look sexier. Honestly, this cat sucks.
Chaz just like pats him on the cheek, like, there. Anyway, are you all right, Gwen?
I like look around all of you and I burst into tears and I go, no!
Gwen, you get 2d4 plus 2 hit points back.
Oh, nice.
5 hit points. There you go. There you go, buddy.
Still exhausted, though.
Yes, you are. That's going to be entertaining. Okay. You managed to get these crated, and you managed to get the aide to come back over. He's still spooked, but he's okay.
I'm with the aide. I regret being in this situation.
You managed to catch them, and you didn't harm them, miraculously. And so you are going to take them back over to APTAP in the morning. It doesn't seem wise to move these at night.
Since they're active at night.
Yep, so the rest of the evening is relatively uneventful. Thankfully, you didn't turn over an entire bookshelf, so you don't have to help with cleanup at all, and you're able to head back over toward APTAP first thing.
Whatever. I maintain it was the best action ahead, the information I had at the time.
Let's see, who's probably carrying these? It's gotta be Sarathiel's carrying at least...
It's me. I've got the strength.
Well, I feel like, Chaz, you're probably carrying the weasel one. We'll say that that's like in a smaller box or something, and the other is in its crate, which Sarathiel is carrying.
Yeah, okay.
You are headed back over toward the APTAP building, when suddenly you see and hear a gigantic explosion in front of you.
Fun.
I didn't do it!
Hey everyone, Val here. Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of Crit Fail Club Restoration. If you can't wait to hear what happens next, check out our Discord server for episodes in pre-release, or to listen in live as we record. You can join us by going to bit.ly/cfcdiscord. For more information on the show, character biographies, and links to social media, head to our website, critfail.club or critfailclub.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. We don't advertise at all, so if you like what you hear, tell a friend who might also enjoy the show, post on social media about it, or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Full episodes are available on our YouTube channel, bit.ly/cfcchannel, or on other major podcast platforms. Thanks again for tuning in.